Imagine you are having conversation with your friends. Now at some point in this conversation, someone is going to bring up cryptocurrencies. Now cryptocurrencies is something that everyone wants to talk about, but no one really knows how they work. So today I am going to fix that, and welcome to this video. And this is cryptocurrency explained, since man word currency has been a very important part of our lives. In the caveman era, they used the barter system. Now the barter system involves goods and services being exchanged among each other. So now we have a situation where a caveman is exchanging 7 apples and getting oranges in return. Now the barter system fell out of use because it had some glaring flaws. Now these flaws including having people's requirements, coincidence. For example, say you have 5 apples and your friend has 5 oranges. You want some of his oranges. Now until and unless your friend has a requirement for the apples that you own, he will not be ready to make an exchange for it. There is no common measure of value now, since there is no common measure in terms of which value of a commodity can be expressed. There is a problem when you have to decide how many apples you are ready to trade for one orange or a mango. Not all codes can be divided or subdivided. For example, you can divide a live animal into different smaller units. The goods cannot be transported easily. Now unlike our modern currency fits in your wallet or your mobile phone, the goods that you own cannot be taken with you everywhere. You go after realizing that the barter system then worked very well. Currency went through a few iterations in 110 BC. An official currency was minted in 1000 to 50 AD gold. Plated florins was introduced, and this was used across Europe, and from 1680 to 1980, paper currency gained widespread popularity and was used across the world. This is modern currency. As we know it came into existence, modern currency included paper currency and coins, credit cards and digital wallets. For example, you have Apple Pay, Amazon Pay, Paytm, PayPal and so on. All of this was controlled by banks and governments. Now this means that there was a centralized regulatory authority. They limited how paper currency and credit card worked. Now imagine the scenario of doing an online transaction. Here you are thanking your friends for paying your lunch and you are saying that you are sending the money to their account. Now this transaction takes place successfully. But there are several ways where this could have gone wrong. There have been a technical issue at the bank. For example, the systems could have been the machines were not working properly. So on, that means there is a central point of failure, which is the bank. The users' accounts could have gotten hacked. For example, they could have been the DDoS attack or identity theft and so on. Or the transfer limit for that account were exceeded. This is why the failure of currency lies with cryptocurrency. Now imagine the transaction between two people in the future. One of them has a Bitcoin app and there is a notification asking whether they are ready to transfer 5 Bitcoins. If yes, processing takes place. Here we have authenticating the user's identity, checking whether they have the required balance to make their transaction and other things. Now after that is done, the payment is transferred and the payment is received. All of this happens in the matter of minutes and is as simple as that. This in return removes all the problems of modern banking. There is no limits to the fund you can transfer, your account cannot be hacked, and there is no central point of failure. Now as of 2018, there is more than 1600 cryptocurrencies available now. There are some popular ones like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Eachcash, and a new cryptocurrency crops up every single day. Now considering how much growth they are having at the moment, there is a good chance there is a plenty more to come in the upcoming years. So what exactly is a cryptocurrency? A cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency that is meant to be a medium of exchange. Now cryptocurrency is quite similar to a real world currency, just that it does not have any physical embodiment. It also uses cryptography to work the way it does. Some of the features of cryptocurrency are that there is a limit to how many units can exist with Bitcoin. This limit exists at 21 million. Now after this, no more Bitcoins will be produced. You can easily verify the transfer of funds. Now the hashing algorithms that Bitcoin uses makes it very easy for users to determine whether a transaction is valid or not. They operate independent of a bank or a central authority. They work in a decentralized manner. Now new units can be added only after certain conditions are met. For example, for Bitcoin, only after block has been added to the blockchain will the miner be rewarded with Bitcoins, and this is the only way new Bitcoins can be generated. So what makes cryptocurrency so special? First, there is a little to no transaction cost. Now if you are using the digital wallet, you will know that if you are transferring money from your wallet to your bank account, you lose some amount of money. You have 24/7 access to money. You can't just walk up to your bank at 3 AM morning and say that you want to withdraw some money. There is no limit on purchases. And Madras, There is freedom for anyone to use. For example, if you're setting up an account in your bank, you need to do some kind of paperwork and documentation with cryptocurrencies. With cryptocurrencies, all of that can be avoided. International transactions are faster. The wire transfer take about half a day to transfer money from one place to another. But with cryptocurrency, it only takes a matter of minutes or seconds. What is the crypto in cryptocurrencies? Cryptanavistic or pyrography, it's a method of using encryption and decryption to secure communication in the presence of third parties with its intent. Now this refers to third parties who want to steal your data or want to develop or want to eavesdrop on your conversation. Cryptography uses computational algorithms like SHA-256, which is the hashing algorithm that Bitcoin uses a public key, which is like a digital identity of the users, which he shares with everyone, and a private key, which is a digital signature of the user, which he keeps hidden. Now let's talk about a normal Bitcoin transaction. First, you have the transaction detail now. This details who you want to send it to and how much bitcoins you want to send them. Then it's passed through a hashing algorithm. For Bitcoin, we use the SHA-256 algorithm. The output that you obtain is passed through a signature algorithm with the user's private key. Now this is used to uniquely identify the users. This output is then distributed across the network for people to verify this is done by this done. The user, this output is then distributed across the network for people to verify this is done by using the sender's public key. The people who verify the transaction to check whether it's a valid or not are unknown, as now after this is done, the transaction and several others are added to the blockchain where it cannot be changed again. If the concepts of hashing seem a little difficult to you, I would suggest you click on the top right corner and watch the blockchain explain video so that you can understand better now. Now the SHA-256 algorithm, like I told you earlier, looks something like this. Now seeing how complicated it looks, I am sure it's safe to say that the encryption is very difficult to hack. Today we will be focusing on two major cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ether. Now Bitcoin is a digital currency. This is decentralized and works on the blockchain technology. It uses a peer-to-peer network to perform transactions. Let's talk about Ether. Is a currency that's accepted in the Ethereum network. Now the Ethereum network uses blockchain technology to create an open source platform for building and developing decentralized applications. Now let's talk about the similarities Bitcoin, and they are the biggest and most valuable cryptocurrencies in the market right now. Both of them use blockchain technology, which is nothing but a technology that involves transaction being added to a container called block and creating a chain of blocks in which data cannot be altered. Currency is mined using a method called proof of work, which is a form of mathematical puzzle that's need to be solved before a block can be added to the blockchain. Finally, these are widely used across the world. Now let's talk about the differences with Bitcoins. It is used to send money to someone. This is very similar to how real life currency works. With Ether, it is used as a currency with the Ethereum network. Although it can be used for real life transaction as well, Bitcoin transactions are manual, which means you have to personally perform these transactions. With Ether, you have the option to make these transactions manual or automatic or programmable, which means that these transactions will take place when a certain conditions being met. For Bitcoin, it takes 10 minutes to perform a transaction, which is the amount of time it takes for a block to be added to the blockchain. With Ether, it takes about 20 seconds to do a transaction with no blockchain. It is used like money for real transactions, and Ether is used to power the Ethereum network and power real life transaction as well. Ether is used as fuel within the Ethereum network to power both of these things. Now there is a limit to how many bitcoins can exist, which is 21 million. We are supposed to hit this number by the year 2140. Ether is accepted to be around for a while but not to exceed 100 million units. The Bitcoin is used for transaction involving goods and services, and Ether uses blockchain technology to create a ledger to trigger a transaction when a certain condition is met. For Bitcoin, we use an algorithm called SHA-256 for hashing. And with the use of hash, as of July 23rd, 2018, 1 bitcoins equals $7,668. For Ether, it costs $464 now. What is the future of cryptocurrency? The whole world is clearly divided when it comes to cryptocurrencies. On one side, you have the supporters like Bill Gates, Al Gore, and Richard Branson, who says that cryptocurrencies are better than regular currencies. On the other side, we have people completely against it, and people like Warren Buffett, Paul Krugman, and Richard Skiller, who are both the Nobel Prize winners in the field of economics. They call it a Ponzi scheme and means for criminal. In the future, there is going to be a conflict between regulation and anonymity. Since several cryptocurrencies have been linked with terrorist attacks, governments would want to regulate how cryptocurrencies work. On the other hand, The main emphasis of cryptocurrencies is to ensure that their users are kept anonymous. By the year of 2030, cryptocurrencies would occupy 25% of national currencies, which means the significant chunk of the world would start believing in cryptocurrencies as a mode of transaction. It's going to be increasing accepted by merchants and customers, and it will continue to have a violent nature, which means prices will continue to fluctuate like they have been for the last few years. With that, we have reached the end of another video. I hope you guys found this informative and helpful. If you have any feedback or doubts, put them down in the comments below. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos.